main guy that you were writing a lot about and you were pretty high on was Brenden Rice. And I know he's the son of Jerry Rice. And I'm just interested. What did you see from this kid at the Senior Bowl?
I saw him catch a lot of balls. I also saw him miss a lot of balls. And I'm talking about balls that were in his vicinity that he just turned a right shoulder instead of a left shoulder. He's got great speed. I think it's 4.38, and he's got long arms. He's able to utilize his overall length, and he's not a cocky guy, but he's a guy that's kind of assured of himself. He's got this alpha dog mentality I saw, but he's able to go up to the high point. And but I wasn't really that high on him. I think he's got some issues, even though he's fast. He's blessed with a sizable frame, but he struggles to be consistent play, especially if you got contact. And with the Senior Bowl, you've got a lot of really good cornerbacks from the nation instead of just seeing 3 or 4 good cornerbacks when he played for USC. But when he was on contested routes, he just didn't look that well to me. Now, he's 215 pounds, and but he looks more like a basketball player build than a football player build. And he's got a tendency really to kind of overcomplicate his releases. I think he'll be a good pro. I don't think he'll be in the second round like I think his grade going into the Senior Bowl was second round. I think he may go more into the third round. What's your opinion?
I mean, that's what I'm coming to you for, because I have not scouted these guys in depth or anything. So I'm getting my first takes, my first impressions from you here. So I'm trusting your assessment, and that's disappointing to hear that he didn't flash more at the Senior Bowl. It kind of sounded from the way you were writing in the beginning that you were impressed, but what happened? Did he just kind of you saw more flaws as the week went on?
I did a daily diary.
Yeah.
I did a diary on Tuesday, and what I did is I went from station to station to station. So what everybody loves is when the offensive linemen are going one-on-one with the defensive linemen. That is awesome. That has always been my favorite part. Me being an ex-linebacker, and I've played defensive line. Not defense against defense or offense against offense. They do that. But when towards the end of the practice, they'll do one-on-ones. They'll have a guard and a tackle, and then a defensive guy, and the guard doesn't move, the tackle does, and he goes against the defensive guy. Those are off. So you go from station to station to station, and you go to the one-on-ones with the quarterbacks and the receivers and the cornerbacks. Then they play the 7-on-7s. And on Tuesday, he looked really good. On Wednesday and Thursday, I think that the defensive backs kind of figured out that if they could just kind of throw a shoulder into him and start rubbing on him and kind of knocking him off his game, that he gets a little unfocused on that. I think he's going to drop around. I don't think he's going to go in the second. I think he's going to go in the third. The day that I was able to interview him was on Thursday, which was the last day of contact. They do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday contact. Friday is just shells and shorts. And I was interviewing him with about 4 or 5 other guys. And after it was over with, we turned the recorder off. He was walking, I was walking. We were talking about something. And all of a sudden he stopped and I stopped, and there was his dad.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've met his dad before. I've met him back in the 90s, but just to see him there. And Jerry came in on a Thursday, and then, of course, the game was on Saturday, and then I guess he flew out then. But yeah, I spotted him at the game on the sidelines during the game. But it was just kind of, and everybody was kind of got over him, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.